Good morning. Welcome to a special video discussion for June 27th, 2015. It's a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon now. And we have a heavy rain and severe thunderstorm threat evolving. And I figured for this morning, kind of give some of you guys who aren't premium members an idea of what a premium member gets with these videos that are developed Monday through Friday. So let's dive into this here because it is a complicated forecast. Currently, right now, we have winds from the east, and this is really important. Winds from the east are around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures range from the mid to upper 60s over the interior and upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast in your urban areas. Notice much cooler temperatures over central and eastern Pennsylvania, where temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to mid 60s, because we have steady heavy rain. Now that rain is building into New Jersey and advancing towards Connecticut and Long Island. The reason why this easterly wind is so important is because, well, look to the south towards Virginia. You can see a warm front is on the way with winds veering off to the south and southeast, and then temperatures and humidity much warmer. And that is going to be the whole key to the forecast moving forward. Where does the warm front set up? Thus, where do the strong and severe thunderstorms develop? And in relation to that, the very heavy rainfall that is starting to develop throughout much of Pennsylvania and expected to lift through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan areas. So I'm going to take a look at the radar. You're looking at this, and some of you might say, hey, Steve, all the heavy rain is lifting up to the northeast. It's going to miss us. We're not going to have that bad of an event, blah, 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 blah. I've seen that several times on Twitter. The key here is notice the edge here is starting to slow down. Now, why is it doing that? It's kind of like a wall, right? It's kind of pushing through, and it's starting to slow down, like as if there's some sort of buffer setting up here in New England. And you can see all this heavy rainfall starting to slow down its progression to the north and moving a little bit more to the east with each passing frame. So what is going on here? This is why we use the water vapor satellite picture. You see, because when we look at the water vapor satellite, what we see here and what's really important is not what's happening here, but what's happening here. You see, this is an upper level low. And this upper level low around the Canadian Maritimes and a nice little trough here produces convergence and confluence right here, which leads to a nice little high pressure system that is developing over northern Maine at about 1020 millibars. Why is that important? Well, because this pattern acts like a block and forces this upper level low to start moving due east rather than northeast. And that is the key to the whole forecast because of that shifting from going from the northeast to the east, it forces this low pressure system to jump towards the coast. And it forces this warm front that will rapidly race up towards the Pennsylvania border and then towards central and southern New Jersey to stall out. So what I'm expecting here over the next several hours is for that heavy rain to start to shift towards the northern Mid-Atlantic. Our warm front stalls out just around Philadelphia, down through Atlantic City, probably maybe might push through central Ocean County. We'll see how far north it gets. And then from Monmouth County, New Jersey, which is basically central New Jersey right here, back through Trenton, back through Philadelphia and the suburbs of Philadelphia, on south, will be a threat for strong to severe thunderstorms because you're going to be in a little bit more of a unstable atmosphere. Now, to be fair, Virginia, Maryland, parts of Delaware, definitely West Virginia and North Carolina have a higher threat for severe thunderstorms. But because this upper level low is going to start to shift more to the east, all this dry, cold air is going to drive right along the Pennsylvania border and head right towards southern New Jersey. And that's what leads to this very dynamic setup moving forward in this forecast, because what you end up with is your dying low pressure system over western Pennsylvania, an occluded front over eastern Pennsylvania, and then a warm front boundary around central southern New Jersey, and a cold front boundary pushing due east over southeastern Pennsylvania, heading towards the Delaware River by this evening. And that triple point, that combination of air masses, the marine air mass, the tropical air mass, and the polar air mass, all leads to tremendous lifting, which means very heavy rainfall, and also very impressive instability and lifting over southern New Jersey leading to the potential for strong and possibly severe thunderstorms. So let's dive into a couple more observations here. Now, you're probably looking at the precipitable water and saying, well, it's not that impressive. We've seen it worse, obviously, but the key is what's happening upstream. You see this upper level low at 850 millibars? This is going to start to move due east. And with it, this is called moisture transport. Okay, so the stronger the moisture transport, the better potential you see moisture transport into your region, obviously. So when you start seeing these greens and reds, that means that the mid-level winds are pretty strong in transporting that tropical air northward. So again, when we go back and look at the precipitable water, what is it transporting? Well, it's transporting ratios of 1.5, 1.6, 1.9. So all this tropical air is on the way lifting north and east towards Connecticut. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to see the warm front at the surface lift north and east, and that's an important distinction. So what we're going to be setting up here is a very tropical air mass at the mid-levels and a marine air mass at the surface for Connecticut, Hudson River Valley, New York City Metro, northern New Jersey, and northeastern Pennsylvania. And that leads to some very heavy rainfall, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, with locally higher amounts. And then at the same time, because of the warm front lifting northward, you have an unstable air mass at the surface and at the mid-levels, and that leads to your potential for enough instability to support strong to severe thunderstorms. So there's certainly some interesting factors to keep an eye on. 500 millibars, for example, we have to watch this upper level low very carefully, see how it lifts, whether it keeps on moving north and east or start moving due east. The faster it does that, the better potential you'll see those strong severe thunderstorms. And in terms of wind shear, when we take a look at 850 to 500 millibar winds, you could see as this is developing and unfolding, there's potential here for some pretty impressive shear over southern and central New Jersey. So let's dive into some model guidance. We're going to use the latest NAM model guidance because this is a mesoscale event. You use the right model for the right event. I wouldn't want to use the European or the GFS model in this event because there's mesoscale questions, thunderstorm questions. So you have to always use the right tool with the right question and scenario. So in this forecast, you can see the NAM model guidance drives that moderate to heavy rain through the region, and then notice there's this break. There's that warm front. Okay, now this is going to be very interesting because at 850 millibars, all you're lifting with the steady rain starts to lift a little bit further north. But look what happens this evening. You see how this kind of fills back in? And you have all these thunderstorm complexes over southern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania. And again, with thunderstorms, some places get hit bad, and other places you're like, "What storm?" There's nothing happened because of rising and sinking air. Some areas will be under the influence of what's called subsidence, which leads to drying air, which leads to, hey, you miss out, you won the lottery. Other locations, though, get blitzed with very heavy rainfall, thunderstorms capable of wind gusts over 60 miles per hour, frequent lightning, hail, and even an isolated tornado. Notice, though, over the New York City Metro, let's backtrack here. I'll look to see, you see that clearing a little bit, and all of a sudden everything fills back in. So what's happening? Well, these thunderstorms are lifting northward and moving into a stable environment and become elevated. So these thunderstorms, instead of becoming severe, become very impressive heavy rainfall makers. So you end up with rainfall rates of a half an inch to an inch per hour, sometimes even more in this environment, and you end up with some very heavy rain tonight over northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and New York City Metro, and lifting up towards Connecticut. So again, here's your 850 millibar front right there. Your surface warm front's here, and your kind of unstable aloft air mass is right here, where you get those elevated thunderstorms and very heavy downpours. And so that whole mess slowly lifts through the region. By 1 a.m., the cold front's starting to drive through. Everyone is under the threat for very heavy rainfall, some thunder, some lightning, but the severe threat is pretty much until about 10 p.m. over southern New Jersey and the Philadelphia Metro. Central New Jersey is going to be on the borderline of that, depending on how far the warm front lifts north. And then thereafter, for tomorrow, the upper level low swings through, and I can't rule out a few showers here and there. They're going to become more isolated as we move on through the afternoon and evening as that upper level low lifts away. But clearly there's that threat. So just to kind of backtrack and go over some of the anomalies here that we're dealing with the lifting index for this afternoon, you can kind of see where that warm front goes and where the best instability is going to be lying. Again, this is -5, -6, -7, so you can see where that instability sets up over southern New Jersey on the models for this evening and tonight. In terms of precipitable water, you can see that the models pretty much agree with driving very tropical air into the region. Very impressive with very heavy downpours. As far as your Cape values are concerned, again, nothing like what we saw. I want to make this very clear. Nothing like what we saw a couple nights ago with the Bow Echo. That was with Cape values around 3,000 on up. This is 500, so it's certainly not going to have the same capabilities or strength. So I want to make that very, very clear. All right, and then finally, just to kind of show you the shear capabilities, again, pretty much focused over southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey here, trying to creep into central New Jersey. And then finally, the accumulated precipitation totals here kind of give you an idea of what we're setting up here. Now, you don't take this verbatim, but I kind of want to show you what it's trying to tell you. What it's trying to tell you here is that you're going to have these pockets of thunderstorms, elevated and some severe, okay, that will be capable of very heavy downpours. Now, not everyone's going to see 3 inches of rain, all right, but the minimum you'll see if you totally miss out is a ½ an inch of rain. The maximum you could see if you get thunderstorms training over you in some places are over 4 inches of rain. So it's a wide disparity. It was just normal in the summer with these type of storms, and as a result, you end up with these pockets of very heavy rainfall. Where they set up, well, you just have to nowcast that and see how that plays along. But you can see the flash flooding threat that is clearly in place for the region. On a positive note, no heat waves, right? Well, at the very least, you won't be sweating to death and killing your energy bill with the air conditioner. From here on out, the low pressure system exits by tomorrow evening, drying out. Monday and Tuesday, just a threat for a few showers with a few passing cold fronts, but temperatures are pretty much averaging near to below normal. We're talking about upper 70s to lower 80s. Not all of that impressive as far as heat, that's for sure, where your normal is usually in the mid 80s. And then for Wednesday and Thursday, shower possible late at night into the morning hours. Otherwise, temperatures pretty much acting near normal. We're talking about upper 60s to lower 70s for low temperatures. High temperatures on Wednesday in the mid 80s. On Thursday in the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then for Friday, and looking like next weekend, 4th of July, high pressure and control, crisp, cool air with temperatures averaging again near to below normal, with lower to mid 60s for lows and upper 70s to lower 80s for highs on Friday, and on Saturday mid 80s for highs. Probably a little bit cooler along the coast, but the key here is that it looks like 4th of July weekend is going to be dry. At least that's how it looks right now. I'll keep you posted. Again, thank you for following NYNJPA Weather. This is a special video discussion. This is typically what I do for premium members. So if you are interested in becoming a premium member, all you have to do is go here and load the website, NYNJPA Weather. Take a look at this. And then you just simply go to About and check out the services. And then you read over the services, and I'm sure you get the point here. And then you click here, right here, and then you select what type of premium services you would like. So again, thank you for following NYNJPA Weather. And oh, by the way, should also say this, I'm also part of My Weather Concierge. If you're interested in just a basic severe threat analysis and also possibly a localized forecast just for your area, for your backyard, and you're really not interested in what's going on with the long-range weather pattern or thunderstorms impacting a flight or something of that nature, definitely check out My Weather Concierge for that localized forecast and that severe threat analysis every day brought to your phone or smart device. Well worth it, I think. So, thank you again for following NYNJPA Weather, and stay safe out there.